kind of relieved that pain will be better for me.
The Pain Clinic Pro Wrestling Talk Show. Can you feel the pain?
Good morning, wrestling fans. Welcome to the Pain Clinic for August 9th. Yes, we made it to August. We are deep into it now. Last weekend, of course, was the first weekend. Hey, summer's almost over. I'm not saying anything, but hey, welcome to the show. Holidays today. It's Book Lovers Day. It's a Middle Child's Day. I'm a middle child, so obviously I celebrate that day. National Garage Sale Day and Smoky Bear Day, which seems kind of good description for smoky anything going on here in Rochester, New York, because these Canadian wildfires, man, it's been a week straight of freaking fog and smoke in the air, and I can't wait till they blow over or whatever happens. But man, I need to get rid of these wildfires up in Canada. But man, it's been just a week of foggy days and red sun. So, hey, welcome to the show. Birthdays today. The last real man, Silas Young, is 46. And if you don't know who that is, he Ring of Honor wrestler for many years and has done some bit spots in AEW. But he is 46 today, man. He looked 46 10 years ago. So he is the last real man. And WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Alexa Bliss is 34 today. Happy birthday, Alexa. We kind of got a little bit of a birthday celebration on SmackDown last night from Charlotte Flair. Kind of got disrupted by Chelsea Green, and there was a cake involved. So you know what happens when there's a cake involved. Someone bites the cake, and the cake was everywhere. So happy birthday, Alexa Bliss. Hey, interested in roller derby? Want to be a skater, officiate? Rock City Roller Derby needs you. Contact recruitment at rockderbyrecruitment@gmail.com and join Rock City Roller Derby. If you're in the men's team, it's Flower City Fear, FLOUR, flowercityfear.com. We're in the middle of the season. One game next weekend. I think it's the last home game of the season for Rock City at the Minette Hall, part of the Dome Arena. So come on out. I'll be there. Got some things we want to talk about today. Let me introduce everybody first. It's me. I'm the Cash Man. I'm your humble host. I'm joined by DC Dan Cole. I see DC popping in here a second ago. I forgot to turn on the thing that stops everybody from.
You like my Wheeler Yuta cosplay?
There you go. Yeah. Can you put a bag on too?
I could.
Full body bag. I want to know how you see when you.
Not very well.
Yeah, it's so now you know what it's like.
I'd imagine this is what Krill sees.
Yeah,
like looking through the baleen of a great big whale.
Or Bigfoot, that's what they see, all the time. So they're probably, half blind. But welcome, DC. How's the weather down in NC?
Oh my God, it was in like the 60s and 70s this week. It was glorious.
Wow. We've had a lot of smoke issues up here this week from the wildfires in Canada, and it's still going on today. My eyes have been red for a week now, and it's like, anybody who has like respiratory issues or anything are probably going through hell right now, but hopefully it'll be over soon. But yeah, it's been that crazy kind of week. So let me give you a hint what we're going to talk about today. People who are, checking in and listening. Obviously, SummerSlam results from last weekend. Peacock is going away, but ESPN is coming for WWE's PLEs. And we got lots of little tidbits of news and everything, including, updates on things we've talked about before. But before we get too far, this past Tuesday, and I'll just jump right into it. The first thing, WWE comes out with, well, besides the fact, and we haven't talked about SummerSlam yet, but we will definitely talk about some of maybe the controversial results from that. But the big news, the biggest news of this past week was Peacock is done at the end of the year. I guess they're done technically in November because they are contracted to do 12 PLEs, and because they're doing 2 now on WrestleMania and 2 at SummerSlam, it allows them to finish up early on their yearly contract. So that could be done as soon as November of this year. And they're going to shift over to an ESPN product that is not out yet, I believe, right, DC?
Yeah, it's launching 2026.
Yeah, so they have it's now people would think ESPN Plus, but it's not. It's not ESPN Plus.
Nope.
ESPN Plus is going to go away, I heard.
Yeah, that's usually what they do. It makes no sense to me. You have something that you kind of could have built off of, but okay.
Yeah, so they're probably going to take all the programming from Plus and put it on this new ESPN app or whatever it's going to be.
I would assume so.
Yeah. Right now, estimated figures is what, $25 a month, something like that.
30.
$30 a month. Unless you already have a subscription to a cable service with ESPN on it, I think, and then you'll get that app for free, which is,
I'll believe that when I see it.
yeah. I mean,
'Cause with all these streaming services now, I mean, I know, everybody knows that there's always a base price to get in.
Yeah.
But then if you want other stuff, you have to pay more.
Yeah. I mean, even ESPN Plus was like that with the UFC. They would have UFC programming, but when they would do a pay-per-view event, you had to pay more, to get it on the Plus. So we'll see. I mean, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. If I had to now suddenly start paying $29 a month, I might find a VPN and find some sort of backdoor into getting into an illegal stream because one, I'm paying like $6. The interesting thing is I have Spectrum. I pay for Spectrum. I'm a dummy and one of the last people who haven't cut the cable. But with Spectrum, I get Disney. I get the Disney Plus app. I get Peacock. I get Paramount. I get a whole handful of these apps that would have cost me like $5 or $10, a month, anyways. And so I'm hoping that this ESPN, that's what will happen. Maybe I'll hold on to Spectrum for I just bought a new car, so I have a feeling Spectrum was on its way out anyways. But I may hold on to it if I can save money. That $29 a month or whatever. But there's a lot of people in this world who have cut the cord, and I don't know what WWE's rationale is behind. I think it's $6 for Peacock if you pay for that app with commercials and everything. You can get that. I think that cheap is that. It may have gone up though. Someone said that it went up recently. But still that's cheaper than $30 a month. And it's like, they're expecting people to, I don't know. I think they're expecting a lot. I guess we will find out, but,
Well, didn't Nick Khan come out this week and say fans will pay whatever it is to follow us? It's like,
that's what he said. I guess
you think?
I guess we'll find.
I pay for Peacock now, and I don't watch WWE.
Yeah, that's it's
So
funny.
I'm certainly not gonna shell out $30 a month.
I think that I watched SummerSlam on it, and then before that, I can't even remember what the last pay-per-view was. It was one of the. It was I don't know. It was just one that was on at a weird time. I did not see. I haven't caught them all. I mean, I did watch obviously both days of SummerSlam. I was busy on the first night though, but I got up early Sunday and watched the whole thing. And then but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see. It's I think there's going to be a mixed reaction. I don't know. They think that not everyone's made of a ton of money, that's for sure. And a lot of people won't be able to justify this. I mean, it's hard enough when we had the WWE Network for $9.99 and we got everything on that. I miss those days because I even though Peacock's cheaper, I still didn't mind that because of the content. that's what everybody's wondering about now is what happens to the content, all the stuff that they've built up on Peacock too. I mean, there's not a lot, but there's some. I mean, it's obviously not like it was for the WWE network, but there's, they're going to lose out on all the, 5 years of Peacock
Well,
content.
based on what's going on now, it seems like WWE wants to piecemeal out as much as they can.
It's true though, I mean,
This network has the rights to SmackDown. Netflix has the rights to Raw. Now ESPN has the right to the premium live events. So what other streaming service is going to come up and say we want the rest of your library?
true. And it's like everyone was hoping that after the network shut down or the network stopped doing everything, that they were going to shift everything over to Peacock, and they shifted a lot over, but not all of it. That's for sure. And I don't know. I know the network is still quote unquote live. I just have never, ever since they moved, I've never really gone back to it and looked at things. I do get a message.
You can't. I thought you couldn't access it in the US. I thought
Maybe
you could only access it outside the US.
Maybe that's it. Because I was going to say, I know that I would get a message every once in a while when it was updating, but yeah, I don't know. That's so I think this is a major change, I'm surprised Netflix didn't try to grab everything like they could if they wanted to, but I heard that ESPN made an offer and then Peacock's like, nah, we can't afford that.
Yeah, Peacock's offer came in at $50 million less a year than what ESPN was offering.
It's a shame because I think with Peacock, they also got Saturday night's main event. I don't know if that's going to be the case anymore. I mean, that was, and it may not. And if it isn't, then we've got one more this year. And I guess that's going to be John Cena's kickoff. He's going to say goodbye at a Saturday night's main event in December. Yeah, I don't know. There's still a lot of things to figure out about this. I mean, they do not have the app. It's not a physical app right now. There's nothing, so, they're kind of, I'm sure, ESPN, ESPN obviously owned by Disney. Disney's wanted something from WWE for a very long time. I know that they made a pitch to buy WWE when they were putting it up for sale when TKO got it. But and so maybe this is ways Disney can get in, but it's like, Disney, I think monopoly might be the word. The things that I love are all owned by Disney, a lot of content, comics, movies, TV shows, stuff like that. So I don't know.
And they're absorbing Hulu.
That's heard. Hulu's going away. That's what I heard. Yeah. It's like,
yeah, it's fully integrated into the Disney Plus app now.
It's interesting that next week on SmackDown, they announced that it's going to be a King of the Hill themed SmackDown. And that's brought to you by Disney. Disney owns obviously Hulu. The new King of the Hill debuted this past week on Hulu. They're going to have like 2 theme matches on SmackDown next week to be involved with King of the Hill. So I have no idea what they're doing. I just know that they're going to have the logo plastered in the middle of the ring and some other stuff like that. But yeah, it's very interesting. There's Disney, I'm not going to say they're monopoly, but man, they've got a huge portion of the audience out there. I mean, they're buying more, and I mean, they own ABC. I mean, who knows? Maybe Saturday Main Event will go to ABC now if Disney's like, Disney and quote unquote ESPN are now going to be doing PLEs. I mean, you've seen all the hype from this past week, all the little news clips of like Triple H going, well, we know you guys can do it right. And it's like, not that Peacock was doing it wrong. I thought they did a great job. I mean, it's like, it's really WWE who's putting on the pay-per-view. They're just opening a channel for them, pretty much. And being able to sustain the amount of audience that tunes in, which we always thought was going to kill the network originally. Because I remember those first few PLEs with the WWE Network where they were, you'd get the buffering going on in the middle of the show.
Not a great experience.
No, I think that they all pretty much got it down. So yeah, so I think this is humongous news. And it, you think everything they touch is gold, but man, I think that you're asking a lot for someone, maybe who was paying $6 and now to pay $30 a month. I think they're going to have their eyes open pretty quick. But
It's great news for TKO. It's bad news for fans.
yeah, I was going to say, but the one thing too is if you, like I said, if you have cable already, there's like a whole series of cable providers that they have a list of out there that are going to be able to get it for free. So and for all those people, like I said, who wanted to cut the cable, it might keep them on a little bit longer, being able to get these things for free instead of paying $30 a month, which phew, that's ridiculous. That's almost $400 a year, for what you get one pay-per-view a month. You better have something more than that to offer me. I don't know. I was just,
I know Danger in our chat suggested, if they're doing something with Red Zone, that would make it worth it. That you're not going to get Red Zone without paying an extra charge.
yeah, they did buy Red Zone too, right? Was that ESPN?
Yeah.
And they're going to go on this network too, I hear. I've to be honest with you, I've never had Red Zone, but I've been at places. I've been at peeps' houses who've had it, and it's like it's exhilarating to watch football on a Sunday on Red Zone. It's like because you're just getting action, huge action every time they switch the games. I think that's exciting, but I don't know. I've never felt the need to buy it. I mean, I get the NFL Network for free on cable right now, so I get to at least watch those games that they put on there, and some stuff. By the way, how do you think your 49ers are going to do this year?
I think they're going to do pretty good.
Yeah, gonna have a healthy
I am
team,
I
right?
am cautiously optimistic.
Yeah,
If they can stay healthy, which seems to be a problem with them the last several years.
yeah. You got.
I think they're going to fly under the radar, and I like it that way.
I said Purdy's this will be his third year, right? I think, and he gets better every year.
Third,
Yeah,
third year as a starter.
yeah, he gets better every year, so it can only be better. It's definitely
People still doubt him, though.
yeah. I will take an adequate quarterback over a terrible one, and there's way too many terrible ones out there. So, of course, I'm a Washington fan. You go to the championship game, and with a rookie quarterback, you expect a lot, and I have a bad feeling that you can't expect that kind of result every year. So, but injuries do play a part.
You got Debo. Now you just got to make Scary Terry happy.
Yeah. Oh well. Debo, apparently he came out of shape too. So it's like, but I'm sure he'll work himself back into it. I like to see him use him more as a run option too. We'll see if that happens, because I mean, he did a great job that year when he was like running the ball too, so we will see. Yeah. So we're deep into, obviously, the Bills finished up here in Rochester this past week. And now I haven't not seen the HBO show yet.
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks. I'm gonna watch it though. I will watch it, but
I thought it was going to be more than what it was. Like it was okay. Like I didn't know it's just like a one-off, quick, like 50-minute episode thing.
oh, is that what it was? They're not there more than not there for like a whole 4 weeks or whatever.
If they did, they condensed it, but
Yeah.
and unless I was looking at the wrong thing, like I only had the one episode and that was it.
I'm definitely gonna have to tune that in and figure that out then, because I can watch it. I just haven't had the time yet. I do want to watch New King of the Hill too, I guess, but because that started as well this week. But so yeah, WWE Network, just to stay on that for a second, they the going to ESPN. There's they're thrilled about it. Obviously, they're tooting their own horn, and coming off of SummerSlam. It's interesting. At the end of SummerSlam, we had 2 days of SummerSlam last weekend, and at the end of the second day, I'm like, yeah, I just didn't feel like they paid off a lot. Obviously, John Cena is a good
Listen,
guy.
it doesn't help that his heel run was awful and they just fast tracked a face turn.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing last night in SmackDown was he bumped into R-Truth in the back, and they're like doing the in the mirror thing, and it was like, and R-Truth and Cena's going, he goes, "Oh, I'm glad you're back." It's like, you went crazy there for a few months there, and he's like, especially that kid in Brussels, and it's like, so John Cena was basically blaming his heel turn on R-Truth, he was like saying it was R-Truth who did the heel turn. It was pretty funny though. And so, and then, obviously he kind of like got, he was kind of like turned into, he cut all his hair off and was kind of like, a bit more serious character, but man, he turned right back into R-Truth last night. So, which is, setting much better, get more of him on TV when he's like, the silly R-Truth. And a friend of mine saw him in concert actually last weekend. He played in Binghamton at the Speedy Fest, and R-Truth came out and did a bunch of songs. He said he did like a country song too. He did like a couple of country rap songs, and he did, but he came out and he said he told stories and stuff while he was on the stage. But my buddy actually went to see Gym Class Heroes, who were the main band, but R-Truth was opening up for him. So, and he was out in the crowd talking with people and stuff. So, but it's good to see him back last night as well. But yeah, so John Cena, so SummerSlam in a nutshell was two things really. Was one, cash in of the Money in the Bank. CM Punk got 5 minutes of being the champion, and two, Brock Lesnar making his return, which I didn't care, to be honest with you. I mean, he doesn't move the needle for me. He never really has. Especially since this lawsuit crap has been going on and his name was involved in this Janelle Grant lawsuit against Vince McMahon. Obviously they had to clear him of that before they could ever bring him back,
I don't think so.
Oh, you don't think so?
Nope. I think they did it because they don't care.
Yeah.
The lawsuit is still out there. It hasn't been resolved.
He's not like being accused of anything. He was just referred to.
No, he was just exposed for being a POS, for essentially stating that he wanted to have someone shipped to him that he could have sex with before he'd come back.
Yeah. Yeah. And he's back, and there's a lot of mixed reviews on people have with him coming back. And, I don't really, like I said, he doesn't move the needle for me. I think after the lawsuit stuff, it was good that he was gone. Apparently I heard just today that he was still being paid. The whole 2 years he was been gone from the company. He's still been getting paychecks. Obviously it was the guaranteed minimum because he wasn't doing house show or any shows, but I just think it might be too soon and they could have done other things. I mean, yeah, we all kind of speculated on a Cody heel turn last week. Did not happen, but could have. But Triple H came out this week and said, I know everyone was speculating on that. And he goes, there's no way, the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes is ever going to go heel. And I believe him too. It's like, you don't need, I mean, obviously doesn't need to go heel. He could have, but obviously, and he wins the championship back. So now we got to start over again with who's going to be like contenders with him. Obviously Drew McIntyre did something last night to, possibly be number one on that list after, not kicking him through the table last night at the end of SmackDown. But, it's kind of like a reset, they did, but I mean, I'm trying to figure out how they did attendance wise. They only had in the 50s, but each day. So, and that place definitely holded like 70 or more, you can definitely see the upper levels were kind of sparsely populated. I mean, we went there for WrestleMania and it was sold out. So it was like, that was, but I saw the ticket prices and I knew it was 2 days and there's no way I would ever do something like that. I can't justify, one going for 2 days and it not being WrestleMania, and I can't even justify WrestleMania. But then, I mean, cause you gotta stay the night or at least 1 or 2 nights there. That costs a ton of money too, especially that close to New York City. But I knew they weren't going to, it wasn't going to be like sellouts both nights just because it's SummerSlam. And I mean, I don't know. What do you feel about DC about like this trying to shift major shows to 2 days? I mean, is that something they can do? I mean, at WrestleMania, we're still kind of getting used to it. It's only been a couple of years,
If you have 2 days worth of quality stuff, sure. But I don't think WWE has been doing that.
No.
I think each card features 1 or 2 things you really want to see. So,
Rob and
I'd much prefer them going back to one night.
When Rob came on last week, we went through both cards and he's like, I see one good card out of these 2 shows.
Right.
Yeah. And it's like, Roman Reigns in a tag match, there was some stuff that just, seemed like it was thrown together, and there was some good things. And I mean, we did not see, we obviously all the titles changes happened on Saturday, that, and obviously the main, Cody Rhodes winning the title back as well, but CM Punk, winning the title, and then, having Seth Rollins cash in the Money in the Bank and take it from him. I guess Gunther got hurt in that match as well, so he wasn't on. I don't know how hurt he really is, to be honest with you, but because when a wrestler comes on TV and says somebody's hurt, or Michael Cole, I always question it. So, and it was like this. That's what they did this past week, but.
Well, after this most recent thing they did with Seth, how can you ever trust him again?
Yeah, Saturday night's main event, and Heyman came clean on it. Heyman came clean and said, no, he never was hurt. Someone had asked him at some event he was at, and he said, no, he never was hurt.
We knew it was a work.
It makes sense now, because I remember, I think when Saturday night main event happened, I'm like, well, it looks like Goldberg's going to have to go longer in the match. And I guess that always was the plan. So Seth was supposed to, that. I find that interesting that Seth, he even had to like pull kayfabe on his daughter. Heard stories about, him having to use crutches to take her to daycare or something, and it was like, it's selling the story, but I don't believe anything because we also had yesterday, during SmackDown, Malachi Black, or whatever they call him now, said that who was he wrestling from the Judgment Day?
Damian Priest.
Yeah, Damian Priest cracked a bone in his jaw or something, and one of the kicks that he got, the kicks from outside the ring, said that he was out. So I don't even know how much to believe in that either, to be honest with you. So I don't. So yeah, it makes you not trust them, about injuries and whatnot, but.
Not that they had a high level of trust to begin with.
No, and it was a big reset week for feuds and everything, and this past week. But I don't think I don't know. I just felt like at the end of SummerSlam, it's like, is that it? It's like no Cody turn, and you wait all the way to the end, and then Brock Lesnar comes out and F5's John Cena, and that's the only time we've seen Brock now back since he's come back. I don't know. I think they value him way too high for, even though people like Roman Reigns come out this past week in an interview and says he was his best opponent when in his run as champ, but it's like, it's still, I don't know. I'm not, but he did have a man bun. So I gotta take some points away from that from Brock Lesnar too. Yeah. Or it wasn't quite a bun, but it was a ponytail. So it was like, so he kind of changed his look up a little. Still wears a cowboy hat though. But I don't know. I mean that as a WWE fan, or not a WWE, as someone who's a fan of wrestling, was that a big deal? I mean, I just didn't feel like it was.
It was more a big deal for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
To me.
It's true. Yeah. It's like you start questioning. It's like, can he?
Kind of like what you indicated. Like, he's never moved the needle for me.
Yeah.
And they do this so often. It's like WWE's All Reliable. It's like, oh, we need a surprise. Let's have Brock appear.
Yeah.
And I, again, the lawsuit is out there, not settled. I don't think, again, he hasn't been charged with any wrongdoing. It's just he's connected.
Yeah.
And the fact that Triple H didn't want to do his usual post-event press conference where he fields questions tells you something.
Oh yeah,
the fact that he said, "Oh, it was indicated because John Cena wanted to face him in his final run," that tells you something. And then John Cena, kind of in his own way, denying that it was him, said something.
Oh,
so the whole thing's a mess. It's someone higher up at TKO wanted to bring him back. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, to me, it meant nothing because
it's interesting because TKO obviously owns ESP or owns UFC as well.
Mm-hmm.
Brock Lesnar kind of was on their do not contact list for a long time because of this lawsuit and everything. And it was like, I figured something had to be settled, for him to come back. But if that's not the case, then yeah, it could be a big backfire for them. But it's like again, once I said again, he did not show up again. He hasn't been on TV this past week. So if you don't, and they, like you said, they didn't do the post SummerSlam scrum. They did the first night, didn't they? I think no, I can't remember if they did the first night. I didn't. But I know they didn't do it the second night. That's for sure. And when I heard that, it's like, oh, what, what? I didn't want to say what a wuss, but I thought that, it's like you're not, because you know what people are going to ask,
Right.
Well, then I heard also they like, well, in our post match press conferences, we don't want to let wrestling media in anymore. That I heard that they said they did, and then that's probably why they canceled it, because they made that statement. They
Who
didn't
do you
want to.
think's going to be there?
Yeah, I
You're
don't
going to get
think.
a reporter from 60 Minutes to come ask questions about SummerSlam?
Yeah, Entertainment Tonight. Yeah, somebody.
I don't think I've ever seen a company have this much disdain for people that follow them.
Yeah. Only if you say the right things, they love you. But if you say what you see, then you are on the outs. That's why they've got these goofs on their pre-shows and stuff, because they're puppets. They will say, they won't ask those tough questions that we all think we will ask, or we would like to. I mean, yeah. Sorry, I don't mean to get down on the wrestling media. There's a lot of people out there, but there's just people like Dave Meltzers who makes things up, which is legit. He may, I mean, like, for instance, I'll give you a good example. This past week, Karrion Kross's contract is over this week with WWE, and Dave Meltzer's on the 7th, I believe that's Thursday, came out and said that he was offered a new contract. Well, he came out yesterday and said he was not offered a new contract. So I mean, that's, which is kind of silly, because he's got like an underground kind of built up crowd for Karrion Kross. I'm not sure why. I mean, I don't really.
That WWE likes to ignore.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously when they were doing the pre-show, or they were doing right
The
after
post show, and the crowd was chanting for him, and then
Yeah.
Triple H was like, "Oh, you up, Brock? You got him."
Yeah, that's another thing.
Ass.
Yeah, they're chanting for Karrion Kross, and he's like saying something else completely. It's like the good old days of being ignored by them. It's like, if you're not saying what we want to hear, we're going to ignore you, and that's how they work, folks. And it's like they always say they're here for the fans, and then it's like, or what we want to do.
They're here for the fans' money.
Remember Roman Reigns when he got booed because he was the number one face? He got booed and booed and booed because Vince McMahon said he's going to be the number one face in this company, and it didn't take him till like a heel turn to get people to turn around on him. After like 3 years of stuffing them down our throats. It's silly. They're very, they, as much as they are changed with Vince McMahon gone, they're still the same. I know Pat just said, he just posted this. The crowd was yelling Cross on the second night when Triple H came out at the press conference, and and what did he say? Hold on. And
Yeah, he said, "You want Brock? You got him."
yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. See, that's your love there, Pat, in our chat room, Pat, that you love WWE because they'll lie to you and they'll ignore what you're saying. So it's like, but
Not drawing any comparisons to WWE to a certain political movement, though.
no, oh my gosh, yeah. Especially, yeah, I don't even want to go there. We did go there last week when we were talking about it, about how, a certain guy was like talking to people who are part of his council now, and freaking Lawrence Taylor goes, "I don't even know why I'm here, but I'm here for you." And he points at, the president, and it's like, it's the most uncomfortable press conference I've ever seen. And it's like, okay, so let's get past SummerSlam. I don't think anything drastic came out of it. We didn't have, I mean, we got, yes, the cash in, but Seth Rollins has done that before, so it's like, I mean, it wasn't nearly, I mean, I'm glad it's out of the way, because I hate having the props, or having, but it was, I mean, fake an injury and then come back 4 weeks later and win the title. And then I guess Braun Breaker may have gotten hurt in that first match on Saturday, because his leg was wrapped from his ankle to his hip when he came out to interfere in that last match. or come out, to celebrate with Seth Rollins and stuff. And that's not a good thing because he is the apparently the future of the business, according to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman said the three guys he's with right now are the future of the business, and it's like so. Right now, you've got obviously the champion Seth Rollins, you've got Bronson Reed, and an injured Braun Breaker. So I don't know, and we'll see. They haven't really made any statements on Braun Breaker, but like I said, he had like you could see him there's pictures of him being helped back to the backstage area after the first match. So it wasn't, but there's been no word from them on it yet. And I haven't seen anything else. Usually someone will come through, but
But again, given recent events, even if they give you an update on his health, are you believing it?
no, it's true. You're right. He said, act like it's broken or something. So really maybe a couple of things I'm shocked at. One was Tiffany Stratton beating Jade Cargill. I guess we know how high Jade Cargill's going to go, that was, I think
It wasn't shocking to me that she won. It was shocking to me that the match was only like 8 minutes long.
yeah, it was a short one. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, Jade's limited, hate to say, they had a bunch of, it was actually, what's interesting is both those nights were pretty short, maybe 3.5 hours for each of the shows. Another shocker, Jelly Roll lost, usually when they bring somebody in, they want to put them over. I mean, they honestly do, but apparently Jelly Roll went to them and said, I'd rather lose so I can come back and do it again.
Yeah.
So, it makes
Kudos to him. I mean, it wasn't great, but I like that someone came in and didn't have enough ego to say, yeah, I better win or I'm going to win.
Yeah. Well, they usually lure you in by saying, you want to come on and wrestle and we'll even let you in, to get big names. I mean, he's a big name. Don't get me wrong. He's like one of the biggest names in music in the country. He's a personality as well. I mean, I remember when Pat McAfee had that one live night in Pittsburgh and he came and he was like, he was so over with the crowd, in a sold out Duquesne Arena or whatever the arena they were in, where the hockey team plays. But he he was a big name. It's like, and wanted to wrestle as well, and he's not a Travis Scott apparently. So Travis Scott had definitely a falling out with them, but I thought that was interesting. I thought, I was really happy on night 2 when Naomi won the first match, that gave me a fantasy lead that I did not relinquish in Mike DeGiorgio's fantasy league. And I won the whole thing, which is nice, and it's all because Naomi defended the title on the second night. But the second night had obviously longer matches, went a little bit longer. And I mean, almost 40 minutes for Cody Rhodes and John Cena. So that was, that equaled about 4 matches from the first night. I mean, there was a couple very short matches the first night. So that it was, I will say it was okay. I watched it from home on Peacock. I would not go to it. I would not.
Would you pay $30 for it?
I wouldn't pay $30. Not for a channel that I get one pay-per-view a month. I think I'll pay $6. I don't have a problem with that. But yeah, it was. But it I just didn't feel at the end of it. I'm like, okay, now what? It's like I didn't feel it lived up to the hype. And so be it. I do. Pat does mention I do give credit to Candice LeRae on that freaking giant ladder drop. She had a huge bruise on her leg on SmackDown last night. That was a fun match. The ladders match was fun. I'll give them that. I get nervous in those matches though because so much wrong things can happen really easily. Mm-hmm. So it's like and when you have was it 6 tag teams in the match? You just never know what was going to go on. But I thought it was pretty good. I mean, that was good. I think obviously the wrestling was good. Overall, not worth going to. That's for sure. But we got another one coming up anyways, and we just have to ride out the wave of John Cena at the end of the year. Now we've got 11 events after last night that he has to do. And you got a cat and I got a dog walking around me. Come here, Tara. I see a tail.
My cat is
Uh,
being overly obnoxious at the moment.
Yay, what about me? Tara, come here. Yeah. So yeah, so I'm gonna move on to talk about some other stuff. AEW this past week, we had some news. Dustin Rhodes is going for a double knee replacement. He's my age, or he's younger than me, actually. He's 56. So he that is like a career killer, don't you think?
You would think a double knee replacement would
Yeah,
kind of a sign.
yeah, but he said, "Hey, I'm going to rehab it. I'm going to come back." So kudos to him. I know he signed a contract extension not too long ago. So kudos to him. Obviously, AEW was in Cleveland, kind of close to us, here in Rochester on this past Wednesday, and they're going to be live tonight too. So you get a live show tonight. But I'm trying to think of some other stuff that happened on Dynamite. Dynamite was we got a lot of. I don't know if DC if you've been following it, but there was a lot of talk on the dirt sheets, we'll say, about MJF and Lashley and MVP and those guys, and now they kind of went around MVP to get him kicked out of their group to be not associated with him on TV anymore. Not really sure why. I didn't get too deep into the stories about that, but the Hurt.
Apparently, they're very difficult to work with, and they refuse to put people over.
That's another thing
So
that
those are the dirt sheet rumors.
that no that FTR, they wanted to put the titles on FTR at All In and they wouldn't do it. And then they wanted an up and coming team to put them on, and then they went back and looked at all the up and coming teams that they had beaten already, and there's like no other up and coming team that they could put those titles on. So I find that very interesting. I mean, MVP has always been a good talker, but he also has kind of like worked his way out of jobs before, and it's like I don't know if he had anything to do with it, but I don't think that those guys are in a stature high enough where they can refuse, creative control over the finishes. I don't think so, at least. I mean, I don't think Tony Khan would be dumb enough to sign anybody to something like that.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, I like what they're doing. I think the Lashley and MVP and Shelton are one of the good things going on in AEW right now.
Yeah.
But would I be sad if they weren't there? No, not really. So to me, that means you should, walk a fine line.
Yeah. I mean, obviously they're more relevant when they're holding gold,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and then they feel that maybe they've seen the past of tag teams in AEW who've had gold and lost it and see what becomes of them, and it's like, maybe we don't want to lose it. I can understand them fighting about it, but
both of those guys too, they're so good. They deserve singles runs too.
Lashley could be a heavyweight title contender. I think so, without a doubt. I mean, I think he's like, I hate to say it, but he's getting older. He's in great shape. He's in awesome shape, but he's not a young chicken anymore, spring chicken anymore. So if he's going to do like a singles run, it's tolling on your body out there. And that AEW is more wrestling than freaking talking all the time, and it's like, you obviously get way more wrestling in AEW. And right now I think that they're actually starting on a rise, because if you've seen their numbers the last few weeks, it's going up and up again. So I think that maybe, as Pat might have mentioned, people are like dissatisfied with WWE. They want to see wrestling. They're probably
they're just starting now.
Some people, but they, maybe people are like, people who are like, don't want freaking Brock Lesnar involved, it's like, this guy's a POS,
I'll say this, with everything going on, now would be a great time for AEW and Warner Brothers to figure out how to get their pay-per-views on to HBO.
Yeah. Seriously, it's get whatever
and come in and say, oh, it's included with your base subscription.
Yeah, your max subscription,
which is far less than $30 a month.
Yes, I get it for free because I'm in Spectrum. They so it's like, I mean, I know I paid for it for a long time too, but Yeah, no, I agree 100%. It's like it's a good time. I mean, a lot of people in AEW have been, you know, in interviews have been saying that for business, it's been good for a while. It's been getting better and better, you know. And I mean, you can thank people with intriguing storylines. I think Jim Ross gives Tony Storm all the credit in the world, you know, for what she's doing on TV and what she does every week, and um, I think, and I, without a doubt, I agree with him. I think that she's one of the definite strong points. It's like, obviously Darby Allin's back, so he's stealing Wheeler Yuta in his hair, and and messing with Moxley. You know what? Nobody wants Moxley back in the title contention. I mean, he could be, but I like where they're going. I think Hangman's doing good too. I mean, it's like, now they just need to book him strong for a while. Keep booking him strong, man. He's got to beat everybody. You can't let him take a 2-month vacation or whatever, or disappear, And so far, so good. He's been there every time since he's won the title. So I'm happy for that. And he's been wrestling as well. So just doesn't need to get hurt or anything. And I like what they're doing with the Bucks too. I mean, changing their names, Jeremy and Max. Is that what it was this past
Yep,
week?
Jeremy and Max Buck.
you know, no intro, no pyros. They're waiting for the pyros a couple weeks ago. There's no pyros, I think that's quality stuff. So they're definitely in a good streak right now. And we have a live Collision tonight. In fact, if you are going to watch Collision tonight, you're going to get to see Kyle Fletcher versus Ishii, Tomohiro Ishii. That ought to be a lot of fun. Heyman Page and Jet Speed are taking on La Facción. Is that how they say it?
La Facción and Gobernable.
La Facción and Grenoble. Drilistico, Roosh, and the Beast Mordos. And we got Queen Aminata, Ty Mello, Willow Nightingale versus the Triangle of Madness, Tekla, Sky Blue, and Julia Hart. I love them
You
all.
gonna give out some chocolate kisses?
Oh my goodness. Yes, I'm guessing. If we don't see that, I'm disappointed. That's well worth watching too, Yeah.
If we don't see another botch by Sky Blue, which is probably like top 5 worst botches of all time.
You set a chair up and you're supposed to get knocked into it, and then something goes wrong, I don't know, it was pretty bad. So it's live by the way from Roanoke, Virginia tonight. So the cool thing about that is they also, on this past Dynamite, they set up matches for this week's Dynamite, which we're going to get Moxley and Kevin Knight and Adam Copeland and Big Stoke. We'll see how that, they're obviously Adam Copeland. They're trying to, they're working their way back to him and Christian coming back together. They all deny it right now. Each of them, is like, has no care for it, but something will happen. They'll have written something that makes it happen. So
don't rush it. Take your time.
Yeah. Like, obviously it's going to have to be something big too. So, I'm going to jump into the news because there's some other AEW news in there as well. Roman Reigns was beat up on Monday, and everyone thought that they were writing him off TV on Monday Night's Raw because obviously Roman Reigns is going to be in this movie Street Fighter that they're making soon. Haven't they had Street Fighter before? I remember a movie before called Street Fighter.
Way back with was it Jean-Claude?
Oh yeah, Jean-Claude, yeah.
And then Raul Julia as Bison.
Oh, there we go.
His last movie, unfortunately.
Yeah. So not only is Roman going to be in this movie, but Cody's going to be in it too. And I think
is he playing Ken?
Yeah, I can't remember who. Or Guile, I think his name.
Guile.
Yeah, that's who Cody's going to be.
He's trying to think of the blonde guys.
Yeah. So, and Roman's going to be Akuma, I guess. But people thought he got written off last week. He's not. The movie's not starting production until September, so he's going to be back again this week, and they'll write him off again somehow. It's interesting how Roman Reigns gets written off a lot. It's like he'll come in for a bunch of matches and then he'll disappear for 6 months. I mean, maybe he deserves it because of the 3-year run he had, but he's just, he is a drawing power, that's for sure. And it's like, but they lose him to movies, so, which reminds me of mentioning AEW is backstage this past week. Wardlow showed up. Wardlow was he's from Cleveland, so he was visiting backstage. He is okay to come back. He was in the American Gladiators show that I've been seeing the promos for all weekend now on TV. That started on Peacock or whatever, NBC Peacock, and he's one of the guys from American Gladiator reboot with The Miz, and there's some other people in it too. I can't remember who else wrestled it. There's another wrestler in it too.
Let's say I feel like there were a couple others.
Yeah, I know there's a girl wrestler. I can't remember who it was. Oh, Casey Canondero, what's her name?
Casey Catanzaro.
Yeah, she's in it too. In fact, by that name, because they remind everybody that she was like she was like one of those Ninja Warrior winners that show Ninja Warrior, which is insane. But yeah, so Wardlow was backstage, and they're just trying to figure out how to get him back on TV. Apparently, the Gladiators is all done, and it's just airing now. But so he's healthy, ready to come back. So maybe you'll get a Wardlow appearance soon. He is a former, I believe, TNT champion. He held it for what, 2 days or something? I mean, he dropped it pretty quick after he won it. So but yeah, he should be back sometime soon. So that's good news for that guy, even though
Rick Boogs and Camille
that's it. Camille. Yeah. And Rick Camille's
are also on the cast.
Camille's from AEW too, right? Or she was the one that was with Mercedes Moné, right?
Yeah.
I don't even know if she really does have a contract with them or not, but I know that yeah, I remember Camille. She was obviously statuesque, and Boogs, I don't know, playing the guitar, stupid stuff. So some other news. I did mention Dustin Rhodes having a double knee replacement. It's happening August 21st. He says he's coming back. He says it's not the end. So he runs a school, so he's definitely going to have to get back into shape, at least to like train people. So this is interesting. Former Ring of Honor champion, Jonathan Gresham. He had a stroke this past week. He said he woke up and he couldn't walk and couldn't move. And it took him 30 minutes to dial 911. And he got taken gurneyed to the hospital, and it said his wife saw their door cam of him getting gurneyed out and immediately booked for home. And he's okay. I mean, they went through and did a bunch of tests and found out that he had like two little strokes in his sleep, but he's going to have to be off, out of wrestling for a few, like 2 to 4 weeks before he can get cleared fully by a neurologist. But, that's scary. And I mean, he's like not getting enough oxygen when he's wearing that freaking, that mask thing he wears that looks like an octopus kind of, but well, we hope Jonathan Gresham comes back. He's 37, so I'm sure he'll be back. And he's obviously, if you little muscular guy, he was in AEW for a while too. He definitely wrestled for AEW, and I think they passed on signing him to a long-term contract when he came. So another injury from AEW. Buddy Matthews announced on social media that he had ankle surgery this past week. It's from an injury he suffered in February, and they thought that I think he had surgery once on it already, and it just wasn't healing correctly. And so he had to go back in and have surgery done on again. And he posted a picture on social media with him and his wife, Rhea Ripley, as he was, had the nose nodules or whatever they call them, the breathing nodules in, and hopefully it turned out okay. I'm sure it is. If it wasn't, we would have heard something. So, but he was having a lot of mobility issues. He's another guy who's like got $1 million body. Gresham and him both are like, peak form. And we send our best out to Buddy Matthews. Hopefully he gets past this pretty quick. I did mention earlier, I'll mention it again, Disney shelling out big bucks to help spread the word about the reboot of the popular cult classic animated series, King of the Hill. Following this past Monday's premiere on Hulu, and after more than 15 years off the air, the revival has prompted Disney to secure high-dollar advertising deals for special cross-promotional efforts, which include WWE on this week's Monday, or on next week's WWE Friday Night SmackDown. I'm sorry, it's SmackDown, not Raw. They're doing it. live from TD Gardens in Boston. WWE will have multiple tie-ins to promote the cartoon, including the center ring sponsorship, digital creative being shown throughout the broadcast, and even digital exclusive recreations of popular past scenes of King of the Hill starring WWE superstars Sheamus and Johnny Gargano. So if you're a fan of King of the Hill, I don't know what they're known for the best. I mean, it's a funny show. I liked it a lot, I mean, but they're going to be doing some King of the Hill skits on SmackDown next week. So
If I don't get someone doing a "That's my purse, I don't know you,"
yeah, there we go. Because it's Johnny Gargano and Sheamus. He could come up and kick him right. Yeah, that or
are
that.
there any wrestlers named Robert or Rob or Bobby?
Bobby.
Get someone coming up saying, "Damn it, Bobby."
Yeah, that boy ain't right. I can expect to hear something like that. That's for sure. So that I like King of the Hill. It's like what I've been when I had COVID a couple of years ago, I was really sick, but I was also stuck in bed watching TV, and I had FXX, which was a great channel. They had King of the Hill on every day for like 4 hours a day, back to back episodes. So I watched it for a week straight, and it's like, oh man, this was a funny show. I'm surprised, that I wasn't surprised actually when I heard that they were redoing it, like years later. And I'm gonna hopefully I'm gonna be able to catch that. I don't have Hulu, but if it's being absorbed by Disney, I guess I'll see it when that happens. So some other news: AEW is gearing up for its international stretch coming up very soon. With Dynamite and Collision set to take place in Glasgow, Scotland, before AEW X NJ New Japan Pro Wrestling Forbidden Door on August 24th from London. So they're going to be, I mean, today is the 9th. I'm guessing within the next week or so, they're all going to be shipping out to Europe. So kudos to them. And JR is going to be there. He had a recent edition of his Grilling JR podcast. He revealed after a conversation with Tony Khan, it's confirmed he'll be a part of Forbidden Door broadcast, calling some of the in-ring action, he said. So he's very excited. JR, we're happy for JR. JR, I mean, going through so much crap in this past couple of years, I mean, we thought at one time we didn't want to hear him anymore, but a little JR is okay. I definitely don't miss it. I mean, I definitely miss it. So, which I do want to mention too, Hulk Hogan had his funeral this past week. It was a lot of like TMZ kind of news, so I don't really care about it, but apparently he wasn't cremated yet because they're still trying to determine something. I don't know what exactly. But now they're saying that someone was saying that he felt that maybe Hogan had the heart attack because he had sleep apnea, which means you fall asleep and you don't breathe in gaps. And that may have what caused it, because that's a leading thing that to people who have like heart attacks is sometimes it's sleep apnea that cause it. So a lot of people are thinking that may have had something to do with him passing away, but they have to do, I guess, a autopsy, which they have not done yet. And but so he had his funeral. Vince McMahon spoke at his funeral. Triple H spoke at his funeral. There was people from all sides of everywhere there. Jeff Jarrett was there. DDP was there. Kevin Nash and Sean Waltman. I mean, it was by invite only, obviously, and but a lot of crap about his daughter. I don't know. It's very TMZ stuff, his family fallout, all the problems with his family, which, I feel bad. The guy was, the best, he said, we'll do what the Osbournes did. Let's go have a TV show about our family. And that just tore apart his family. So, but, there'll be more news, I'm guessing, if we ever do get a autopsy of what, definitively killed him. It was a heart attack that definitely killed him. But it was it due to apnea? He had a form of leukemia that must have just been discovered. All these different things going on, and also, hearts give out on people when they use chemicals to make their muscles bigger, and it's like your body is only meant to pump blood for a certain mass you can get to. And when you get superhuman and your mass is giant, or, that's why all the people tear muscles and stuff all the time, because their frame can't contain their tendons can't contain their muscles to their bones and stuff. It's crazy science, but there's some truth behind, there's a lot of truth behind it. So That note, also I'll move on to. I did want to mention the thing about Hulk Hogan, just because we've been talking about him every week. Last week we had just briefness, but I got Rob was on last week, and I got his opinion, or what his thoughts were on the passing of Hogan. Because I mean, maybe we'll get Danger Boy back here sometime soon and get his thoughts on it too. I did talk to him about it, though, when I went to see the Killers with him on Saturday. So probably should have recorded it while we were sitting in the car so I could play it back or something. But Danger Boy's still around. Hopefully he'll come back soon. Jake Hager has officially closed the chapter on his professional wrestling career during a recent appearance on the Rule Breakers podcast with Soraya. Hager revealed that he's done with wrestling, is now turning his full attention to running his new trucking company. So kudos to him. Jake Hager I liked the guy. He came for an MMA event in Rochester and came on the show with us for a little bit, and that was a lot of fun. Got to talk to him about he does like wrestling, even though he was an amateur. He was recruited by Jim Ross when he was an amateur at Oklahoma. So yeah, and like I mentioned earlier in the show, as of now, there's no new contract offered to Karrion Kross and Scarlett from WWE. At least as of yesterday. So I can say, a lot of people are making things up saying that there was, but I believe his contract runs out the 10th. So that'd be tomorrow. So who knows, maybe Karrion Kross will become a big free agent, or WWE will do the smart thing and acknowledge that name when it's being chanted at him. So,
or do what they typically do, just out of spite, re-sign him to a contract and then not use him.
Remember, R-Truth's contract ran out too, remember? People got behind him and it didn't take long. So Gunther's going to be out of action for a foreseeable future. During Monday's episode of Raw, I mentioned this earlier as well, Michael Cole revealed that former WWE World Heavyweight Champion suffered a septal hematoma and an orbital blowout fracture during his match at SummerSlam. He'll be sidelined indefinitely. That could be made up, and he's just on vacation. Who knows? But and I mentioned also Aleister Black revealed that Damian Priest is injured as well. He let's see, what was it? He announced that he suffered a hairline fracture of his jaw following their match last week, and so two guys injured are on the outs. I mentioned Wardlow, and that's all the news I got. Don't forget to watch Collision tonight. It is going to be live if you're home. If not, if you have a life and you want to go someplace, then don't, tape it, watch it later like I usually do. I'll remember Kyle Fletcher wrestling Ishii once again. Hangman Page and Jet Speed versus La Fashion whatever you said.
Ingobernable.
Drilistico, Rush, and Moros, and Queen Aminata, Ty Mello, and Willow Nightingale versus Triangle of Madness. And that's going to be in Virginia at the Roanoke, Virginia Berglund Center. So, and not far from you, I don't think. You're not close to Virginia, are you? Yeah.
Close to Virginia, not so close to Roanoke.
Yeah, that's closer to the coast, right? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Virginia's 45 minutes north of us.
Oh, really? Okay. So it's not that, but Roanoke's a little bit farther. But okay. On that note, we're done. DC, did I miss anything we want to talk about? I know there's probably some terrible news out there that I'm skipping over because I try to avoid the rumor things, and when I'm doing the news, and it's like some are hard not to ignore, but I couldn't think of it. There's no shows, there's no pay-per-views this weekend. We have 2 weeks before we have Forbidden Door. So we will be definitely hyping that up. And obviously, I don't even know what the next WWE pay-per-view is. I think, it's
Clash in Paris.
The one in Paris. Yeah. So that's a couple weeks away as well. So on that note, we're going to say, hey, have a great weekend, everybody. If you're in the Rochester area, hopefully you're not breathing all this stupid smoke in like I am and freaking sneezing and freaking eyes are red, but I hope you have a great weekend. And, we have this thing called the Hoochie going on this weekend. It's a 3-day music fest at Camp Eastman. And I'm going tomorrow the whole day. It's like a jam band day. So if I don't come back, you know where I disappeared to. So on that note, we'll see you next week, folks. By Body Slam Somebody You Love. And we're going to get out of here.